Hello, I'm Ren and this is Grunge Granny. My room seems to be getting more and more chaotic every single time I record one of these intros. But you know what? That's okay, because it's kind of what this video is about. I didn't post an August bullet journal spread video, partially because I don't feel like my August bullet journal spread is really all that phenomenal. I do want whatever art I create to have some kind of wow factor, and that doesn't mean that everything I create has to be wow-winged or especially artistic. It means that I want to be able to show off something. And if my August bullet journal spread is kind of the same as it usually is, then I don't think it's all that beneficial. But what I wanted to go ahead and talk about anyway was goal setting, because I do think that that's a part of my bullet journal process and how my bullet journal spreads change. Versus doing really intricate trackers or title pages, I focus more on what my goals are and what I am trying to accomplish and then how I'm going to represent that in my bullet journal. I'll go ahead and just show some of the spreads now.
Hello. Yes, my desk is a mess, and no, I'm not going to clean it because after this I am getting back to work on these books, and I'm excited because I'm working on mass making some specimen cards, which I guess maybe people might have preferred to see, but I didn't start recording it, so oh well. I'd actually started making those specimen cards on a TikTok live, and I kind of like saving a lot of the craft with me's for TikTok lives. I also noticed that since there's people watching, I don't get hung up. It gets stuck in my head with a whole bunch of debating, and I'm more active and direct with my choices. So let's go ahead and check out August. I used this quote. It is from Garrett Watts in an episode of Sweet Boys. Don't reach for my coffee or I'll scream. This is August, and I did a tree with no leaves because I feel like I am in the process of shedding a lot of bad habits and in this process of regrowth and renewal, which I do think happens every single year for me. So it's not like that's new. I was going to cut this out, and I still might, but in the meantime, I went ahead and did a little swatch so that I knew what colors I wanted to use when. Here's my sleep tracker and my water tracker so far, along with the times that I woke up. I found these little washi tape strips that I've never used, and then I just started sticking them in here so that at least it becomes a log for washi tape. But I have my habit tracker, which is just no snooze, read, meditate, exercise, declutter, clean, morning pages, and shower. I don't shower every day. I mean, that's fine if you do. I don't think I'm particularly stinky because I don't go anywhere, and I'm just trying to make sure I shower more regularly and consistently. And I have my other little spots here. I have my dates, the debt tracker, brain dump, and home to do, which I haven't written down yet, but I will get to it. I have my social media tracker with the numbers from the beginning of the month, and I'll put in the end so I can see what consistency does for me. Went ahead and did a full spread for morning gratitude, and then a full spread for amazing things for evening gratitude. Then I have my month at a glance now, along with my goals, maintenance on systems that I started in July, time blocking, incorporate meal planning, cut out whipped coffee and Sour Patch Kids, start yoga for exercise, another round of outer cleaning for inner cleaning, up at 5, bed at 10 is my goal. And then after that it goes into these ugly weekly spreads. That was this one. I'm going to definitely improve it. But that's all I have really, so I'm not stressing myself out about a whole bunch of things.
All right, so as you can see, my bullet journal spreads haven't really changed at all. They're kind of the same as they've been. I did like that I could use watercolor in the Vivid Scribbles bullet journal, and the way it held up marker. I liked that there didn't seem to be any bleeding or anything like that, and that was a definite plus. Now that this is my first official spread in this bullet journal. But the only difference is that this time I have a month at a glance, and that's because I haven't been really working in my passion planner, and I still really need to see the month at a glance to know all the things that are going on, especially as a mom. And my partner is starting college back up again, and so I need a spot where I can put down all of the dates for everybody. So I started to make myself feel bad, and this is something that I wanted to talk about and why I'm making this video. I started to feel quite a bit of imposter syndrome because I came across some other bullet journals spread videos that were phenomenal. They were so incredible, and I felt like my artistic abilities aren't really there. But instead of doing that to myself, I decided to focus on processes because I think processes are really important, and it's something that I always want. I always want to hear how somebody does something while they're in the process of it. In July, I started working on not hitting snooze. I very quickly realized that to not hit snooze in the morning, that I needed to go to bed earlier, which made me realize that I needed my night routine to be solidified a little bit better even earlier. So then that means that my day has to be scheduled out better so that I'm not working near the evening time, so that I have time to wind down and give my brain a break and have time with my family. I was watching Monk Nick. I can't remember what he's called. I'll link his video below. One of the things he said was that before they go to bed, they sleep in a sea of merit, where they go through everything that they've done in a day and ask if it aligned with their values. And I know that one for me is that I really want to be the best mother I can be and raise my child to the best of my ability, and part of that involves spending mindful time with her. In order to spend more mindful time with my daughter, then I need to be able to have whatever I want done in the mornings done or saved for later. Same for the evenings. That way, when I wake her up for school in the morning, that breakfast time gets to be time that we get to be together, and before bed also gets to be a time that we get to be together, where we can talk about our days. And we have a nighttime routine, but it's not super long, and I don't want that 15 minutes to 30 minutes of time being the only time that we really give each other our dedicated focus. So with that in mind, and wanting to go to bed, knowing that I was making my choices actively in alignment with my values, I needed to set up my schedule that way. So now, my current goal is to wake up at 5 to do a 30-minute yoga challenge. I'm doing the Yoga with Adriene 30-day challenge. It's her true one. To also write down my morning pages, to do my bullet journaling, to do some stretches in the morning, to do any self-care type things. That way, when I wake up my child, I can either have breakfast already ready, or I can work on breakfast while she's up. Her lunch can be packed, and my partner packed her lunch for her this morning, which was very helpful. That way, when we do get back from the whole car line chaos that exists, I can go into either finishing my morning pages or doing the full 25-minute workout and then go into my day. Doing this means that it will knock off several things off of my habit tracker. And my habit tracker is based off of the goals that I have set for myself under my personal category. I have several categories. My categories are work/financial. The second one is family and relationships. The third one is personal. And then the fourth one is home. And that involves specific cleaning, especially seasonal cleaning or specific spots to declutter. And in these categories, I've broken it up to where work and financial is just about consistency, because really that's what I need to get down to, is having consistent posts, consistent videos, but consistency in posting on all social media platforms as well, since they're kind of being used to promote each other. And if I slack off on one of them, then I can feel that habit slipping. And the other one is within the school day, time blocking when I'm working on stuff for my shop or for live vending. And that is why I put them together, because the goal is to record what I am working on and making as promotion for those things. And it ends up kind of cycling around, I'm hoping, where I get to promote my shop, but also promote my social media platforms as well. Under my relationships category, I already talked about the time with my daughter, because that is the first one that is the most important, because childhood is fleeting, and I know she's going through a lot with the pandemic, and she's been feeling lonely, and she has all of these anxieties and fears now, and I want to just make sure that I am better about spending time with her, and then also better myself with the way I spend time with her. I don't want my fuse to be short. I don't want to be stressed out and impatient, and I want to be able to communicate with her better, because I'm supposed to set the example of the person that she becomes. Then next would be my partner. For him, I just want to make sure that I am more mindful about our interactions, that I actually pay attention to him when he's around and he's trying to communicate with me, and recognize when he's making a bid for my attention. And also trying to set up a once every 2 weeks, it can be more, but no less than, time period where we do something together where we are just focused on each other. Because yeah, we have our shows that we watch and eat dinner together every night, but it doesn't mean that our attention is focused just on each other and giving each other life updates or talking to each other without some kind of screen involved. And I want to be able to incorporate that into our lives. The other is general relationships like friendship, and that just means that things that I'm going to mail people, remembering people's birthdays or significant days, making sure I send them something in the mail, and also doing more regular check-ins on my friends and updates on their lives and seeing how things are going. Home, I'm not going to get into, because I don't think anybody wants to hear about how I have to caulk windows. I don't think that that's as much fun, but that's something I gotta do, is caulk windows and declutter a closet and all that other stuff. I don't think it's as interesting, so let's not talk about that. Now for personal, I have that split up into spiritual, physical, and then mental, emotional. Mental and emotional, I don't really think is all that different. I know that they both affect each other, so I'm just not counting them as different things. I was doing walks in the morning for my exercise, but now I'm doing the 30-day yoga challenge for my physical exercise. I'm doing, for spirituality, I am working on incorporating meditating into my schedule daily. And the other things are things that I'm working on that I have seen definitely improve my mental health, or they just give me these little reminders that these things are done for myself. For example, I want to read every day. And the reason I want to read every day is because that is something where only I benefit from it. I don't have a product at the end of it where I'm showing somebody. It feels like a thing where there is zero external validation that I can get from it. So the only thing I can do with reading is validate myself and feel proud of myself for it. Which is the other reason why I like these more personal solo goals. Because I think that doing all of these little things where other people aren't watching it or other people's opinions don't matter about it, that I get to reinforce my own internal self-worth at my own cost, where nobody else is around to say good job unless I ask for it. And it's important to me to build up my internal self-worth because it's something I really struggle with. That's why I'm making this video. Other parts of that physical schedule involve my bedtime and my waking routine, just getting those really solid, getting them down really good. I am working on diet stuff. I want to get into meal planning, and I don't mean diet as in I'm dieting. I mean like having a more consistent diet so that I know exactly how much protein and iron is in my system, trying to incorporate more vitamin C and zinc and magnesium, and just being more conscious about what I'm putting into my food, but also meal planning, so that all of those things are also planned for the family, and I can know where my daughter is nutrition-wise with what I am capable of providing. And then the last thing, of course, is planning, because everything needs planning. If I don't write it down and get this schedule solid, then I'm loosey-gooseying it around. I'm not being super serious about what I'm doing. And writing it down is also a reminder and a reinforcer to me that I'm going to do these things. Also, statistically, there's proof that when you write it down and you say, hey, I'm going to do this thing at this time, you're just more likely to do it. All right, so those are my goals for August. I hope that you got something out of this video. And if not, then I think that it is important for me to reinforce that I am doing this at least for me, because I want to be able to keep myself accountable in some way. I want to be able to have this as a reference to say, hey, that's really cool. At that time in that year, that's what I was working on, and that's what I started doing, and now these things have grown. I think this will be cool to look back on and reflect over. I always hope that somebody else also benefits from me talking about the process of doing something, because I know that I definitely benefit from hearing other people's processes. Even if they say that they're doing something the exact same way, then I feel comfort that, okay, cool, this is working for this person, maybe this will work for me. I love when I hear somebody's doing something in a completely different way, because then I think, wow, I wonder if that's more effective. I wonder if there's something about that that I can incorporate. Learning about how other people are learning to be better, I think helps us all be better people. There's a TED Talk on love called Why We Cheat. I can't remember her last name, but her first name is Helen. I'll put that in the description too. But one of the things that she says is she doesn't think that the human animal was created to be happy, that that's a social construct, and rather the human animal was created to procreate. And when she said that happiness was a social construct, it actually really relieved me. But then I thought, well, the reason the human animal would be naturally inclined to procreate versus seek happiness is because it's thinking about the furthering of that animal as a species. But really, we as the human animal should be focusing on the betterment of the species as a whole. And the best way to better the species as a whole is to better the self. And then better the self, set the example, and allow the space to exist for other people to feel like they can have the room to also make mistakes and figure out what helps them progress. And I think that is one of the most beneficial things that we can do as humans. And it's why I'm here and why I'm making myself show up and talk about it, even though I feel wildly out of place and I feel like an imposter, because I'm not a self-help or growth mindset inspirational speaker. I'm just a person that is making a lot of mistakes and learning through them and learning what works best for me. I do know that I wish I had had more of that in the past. So I thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos. Bye.